What is up? It's Propaganda. I'm back for another video for the first time in a long time. I know it's been a while, but I've been taking a break from YouTube and also from Instagram for a little while. I'm going to be making this channel into more of a content creation channel for filmmaking and also photography, so this will include tutorials and also my experiences that I'll be sharing and projects I'll be working on. I just wanted to address that I know I've had so many problems with consistency when it comes to YouTube videos and uploading with a regular schedule or meeting the goals that I had set up for myself. So this time around, I really want to focus on consistency. So today's video is going to be a brief lesson on how I edit my photos on Instagram. For those who are familiar with my Instagram, I pride myself on a signature pink vibe to all of my photos. So a lot of times this is within the blues where I change it to the pinks, as you'll see in a second. So the first thing I always start out doing is finding a photo that I like and want to use, and then I bring it into Lightroom and I begin to edit it before I do anything else. Now, as you'll see, it has these nice deep and rich blues, which are really going to help when we're bringing something to a pink tone. So I go into develop first, and first I want to make my adjustments with my actual image because we're not going to go back and change this most likely. You can always come back and do it a second time around, but we're going to be moving this into Photoshop after we do this. So I'm just going to do some quick adjustments. I'd spend more time on this if I was actually editing it. I'm going to make these blues actually a little bit lighter just so the sand peeks out. And something I like to do is try to bring this type of sand that's kind of yellow more to a white. So that's really going to be done. You'll see in a second. I'm going to come into, let me just crank up the clarities a little bit. It's going to make the water look a nice little clear blue right there. And I'm going to go into yellows, and I believe if I lighten this, yes, it'll just lighten the sand for me, and I can make it a more white look. Now, this was a photo I actually posted this spring on my Instagram, as you'll see. And these are the steps I actually took to create this image. So we're going to go into the blues real quick, and we just want to make sure that the blues actually show, because that's going to be really important. You can sometimes up the saturation if the blues aren't showing, if it's a very light blue, because we're going to actually take this into Photoshop now. We're going to double click that and edit in Adobe Photoshop. And once we bring that into Photoshop, we're going to be changing the color. So the first thing we're going to want to do once we get the photo into Photoshop, we're going to go to Adjustments, and we're going to go to Hue/Saturation. And then we are going to actually change it from Master to Blues. When we change it to that, we can manipulate the color in whatever ways we would like to. In this case, I'm actually going to make the water more light blue so it looks more tropical, because we're actually going to be changing the background to have pink clouds. So as you can see right now, I could change the background to be pink like so, and you can always do that. And if there's some pink tints and tones that go onto your body, what you can do is go into layers and apply adjustment layer, and then you come in here and bring this circle down to a smaller size, and then you just go over your body and it'll bring it back to its original colors. You can do a nice clean job of this so it doesn't look as artificial. But what we're going to do is we're going to go back to adjustments, and we're going to bring that hue and saturation down to a light blue, and this is just for the water right here, as you're seeing on my screen. And now what I'm going to do is actually use that adjustment layer tool to bring these colors out a little bit more, just so that it looks a little bit more natural once we bring in the pink clouds. So we're just going back to the natural dark blues. And now what you are going to want to do is open up a web browser, and you're going to want to search something that you would like to composite the image with. So in my case, it's going to be Vaporwave, and then I go to Google Images. Now keep in mind, if you do not have the copyrights for these images, you could be subject to have it taken down or other things brought upon you. But if you want to take that risk, or if you have an image you can composite that you took or you manipulated and edited, then you can use it. So I dragged this image and I already put it onto my desktop. And then I also went and I searched pink clouds. And I brought up images for pink clouds. This is what I do for a lot of my photos with blue skies. And I scrolled down and I eventually found pink clouds that I wanted. I believe, yes, it was this one. And I dragged that to my desktop as well. So now we're going to want to exit out of that and we're going to open up both images. We're going to start with the pink clouds. So you double click that and you do open in Adobe Photoshop. And now it's going to pull up, and what you do if you're on a Mac, you do Command A and then you click Command C and then you open it up in your other image and do Command V, and that'll just paste it right onto that image. Then once you switch over to this control, you then click Command T. And the one important thing is, if you don't want to stretch this image, you want to hold down Shift while you drag out, or else it will stretch it. And you bring it up into, oops, sorry, computer moving a little slow on me. You bring it up into the sky, and then you pull it out as far as you can. You can stretch the image too, but I just haven't done that with this one right now. I'm going to stretch it, but that can sometimes manipulate it in ways you do not want. So I'm just going to pull it down all the way to the line right here. We're going to bring it right down there. There's no need to worry about it yet. Just going to leave it there, and then we see it's a new layer. So we actually add another mask. Sorry, I think I was calling it adjustment layers, but they're actually referred to as mask, layer mask. And then you're going to pull up the brush tool again. Make sure black is on as your primary color, and that's going to act as a mask, and you can just brush away all of this, and you can all of a sudden get these pink colors coming in. So it's going to just blend the clouds with the blue. And another thing you can do if it's starting to look a little strange, you can go in and you can change the modes. You could bring it to screen. This can sometimes allow you to edit it easier when you're making adjustments with the brush tool, but I'm just going to pull this down. This is a little bit different than the actual edit I did, but you get the point. And then we bring in the other image that we'd like to composite, double-clicking Adobe Photoshop. Then we do Command A, Command C, and we bring it back all the way over to our first image, Command V. And then we want to drag it down into this corner for this particular image. Then I'm going to hit Command T, and I'm going to do the Shift because I don't want this to manipulate and look distorted. So now we put it in the location that we would like. I believe I actually expanded it more for this image. So we brought it down to here, and now this is where it's going to come into handy. You want to apply that. It comes into handy to actually change it. I don't remember what mode I did. It was definitely not screen. May have been multiply. And I just want to fool around with these because these all have different effects in each image. Darken actually looks pretty good right here. So what I'm going to do now is add a layer mask, and then we're going to start just taking away and eating away at the edges where you can see these harsh lines. So you always want to keep your hardness at 0% for things like these because you're blending. So if the hardness is any more, then you're not going to get nice smooth blends. So what I'm doing now is I'm just trying to take away all of that area that was composited in the shot and doesn't look sharp. That may have not been the best tool to use, so I'm just going to go a little bit bigger with this brush. I held down Command and Option Z, and that'll bring everything back for you. If you just click Command Z, it'll only bring it back to the last action you took. And if you hit Command and Option plus Z, that will bring it back all the actions. So we're just going to brush away that. And keep in mind, this is a quick tutorial, so you can spend a lot more time on this and get better results. So I'm just going to bring the brush size up again because this is a better way to blend it. And then I'm going to slowly blend in all of that. And now we pretty much have the image that I had on my Instagram. So as you can see, that's how I edit. I like to have blue skies, and I bring in clouds if there are no clouds. If there are clouds, you're already going to get that pink cloud look you want once you change the hue/saturation. And then if you'd like to blend objects, now you see how to do that, and you can play with the different modes with blending, which will help big time. I really hope that tutorial helped you. If you'd like to see more tutorials like that, please drop some ideas in the comments. Also, if you have not seen my Instagram, that will be in the description, and make sure to subscribe if you want to see more videos. Until next time.